Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to my channel, A Meteorologist Chasing Fire. This channel is about being transparent about my investing portfolios, how and what I'm doing to achieve fire, and showing off a few tools that I made along the way. In today's video, I will show you a tool that allows me to figure out my fire date and why I think the hybrid simple path to wealth can help accelerate your timeline to reach financial independence or to retire early. So in my last two videos, I have talked a lot about the acronym FIRE, and I wanted to take some time to break down the term. So I first heard this term when I watched the YouTube channel Dividend Growth Investing. Jake from Dividend Growth Investing would showcase his portfolio in each video. And by the way, he did a video a week, and after doing this a few times, I have no fucking idea how he managed that. Anyways, more recently, he talked about the simple path of wealth to achieve fire. He described his plan, the card that would drive him down the glory path of fire, and how he enjoyed it. So now that I've said fire about 1,000 times, let's get a little bit more in depth of what it is and the various forms of fire. So FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So F is for financial, I is for independence, and R is for retire, and E is for early. This is really just a catchy phrase for what J.L. Collins says, F you money. Or you can tell your boss to piss off as you hand in your 2-week notice. So with FIRE, you can retire early, or you can reach financial independence years before the conventional age of 60 and enjoy the life you want. But I want to step back to look at the full picture. So the FI and RE in FIRE should really be treated and evaluated differently. RI, or retired early, means that if you want to, you can either never work a day in your life, you can ride out the rest of your life doing what you want. On the other hand, FI allows you to take risks, take a sabbatical, go visit the world for the next year, or maybe start a company. Right, so when you reach FIRE, it means you have options, which is beautiful, which means you can do whatever you want with your time, and time is very valuable. This means you can spend time with your family, go pro in pickleball, or visit family when you want to. And for me, that family piece, and maybe the pickleball scenario, speaks a lot to me. So there is the word definition. Now let's get a little bit more technical. So there are there's 5 types of fire. There's a traditional fire, or the 4% rule. You have lean fire, fat fire, brisk fire, and coast fire. And I'm going to take some time and go through each one of them. So starting off, we have traditional fire. With traditional fire, you live on the 4% rule. You create a nest egg that is 25 times your living expenses by investing in the Vanguard Total Stock Index, which we'll call VTI for short. And you reach this magical number, you have reached FIRE. With this method, you traditionally sell 4% of your portfolio each year to pay for your living expenses. You can also do monthly. You can sell off a little chunk at a time each month to pay for your living expenses. So I want to give a little example. To calculate your nest egg, you take 25 times your living expenses, and sum up all of your what you would consider to be living expenses. For example, gas, groceries, rent, mortgage, car payment, dog food, treats. And so let's say me and my wife live on $40,000. So 40,000 times 25 gives us me $1 million. And so that is my nest egg. That's my goal to reach. And then once you hit that nest egg or that mark of $1 million, me and my wife have reached FIRE, and we can use that as our nest egg to pay for our living expenses. So the next type of fire is lean fire. Say you don't need much in life. You like to cook at home. You like to hike. You like the simple things of life. And you like to live minimalistically. Then lean fire could suit you. For example, lean fire could be for you if your living expenses are your basic needs like clothes, food, and a few date nights here and there. You don't have a mortgage or a car payment. Lean fire covers the basics. It's not to fund trips around the world or live in an expensive city, but it's to maybe go on a few fun road trips, see the natural wonders in the U.S. One aspect about lean fire that's pretty cool is that you could likely reach this threshold faster than other types of fire. So next we have fat fire. Now with fat fire is complete opposite of lean fire. In fat fire, you live life lavishly. Not only does fat fire cover your living expenses and basic needs, but it allows you to travel the world, maybe pay for your mortgage or new clothes, buy a new TV, buy a car. In terms, it gives you flexibility. Fat fire allows you to do whatever you want. However, with fat fire, it does take a long time for most people to reach this threshold, but I think it comes with unlimited freedom of choice. So the next type of fire that I want to cover is barista fire. Now for me, barista fire is the middle child. You don't want to live the life of a lean fire, but you don't have enough to reach fat fire. So this is where barista fire comes into play. Let's say you don't have enough to reach a fat fire level, but you want to, right? You want to, so you can pay for your living expenses, trips abroad, and for your mortgage. So what do? Well, with barista fire, speaking from my perspective, I can stop working, but if my wife wants to continue on, so we have health insurance, then she can. And this is vice versa as well. Also, I can find a less stressful job or find a way to make money on the side, allowing me and my wife to travel abroad. This is where FE money comes to play as well, where you can have the flexibility if you don't like your job or you want to do something else, take a few years off, come back to work, then you can have that flexibility to do so. So for example, I have enough saved up for the next 2 years, I can go travel to Mexico, travel to Canada, travel to Europe, travel abroad, go anywhere I want, and then I can come back and go back to work. So the last type of fire that I want to talk about is coast fire. Now coast fire is for younger people who have the time for money to compound. Time is the best friend of a person in their 20s. So let's say you don't know if you want to retire early, or you like working and you can't imagine life without it. So what you can do is early on in your career, you invest heavily into your retirement or taxable accounts, and then once you hit a certain threshold, you can stop contributing and just let the money compound until you want to retire in your 50s or 60s. It's kind of like a time capsule. So then after you're done investing and you're in the coasting phase of coast fire, what you can do next is use the extra cash flow for something else. Go buy a new car, or the car you've always wanted. Go to a new country that you've never been to, and so on. I had a friend who told me that they had a sizable amount in their retirement accounts, and after doing a few calculations, I told them that theoretically they will only need to invest for the next 10 years in their retirement account, and they wouldn't have to contribute again. Compounding interest is a magical thing. So those are the 5 different types of fire, and what I like to say now is that reaching fire is a spectrum, right? It's a spectrum because your living expenses, wants, and needs will be different from others. What you want is going to be different from what your friends or family wants, and there are different life situations that suit individuals better. Like for me, I like to live life simple, basic, but I would like to travel and go to different countries. So if you are interested in fire, what I would do is take 10 minutes, do some Google searching, find some blogs or articles that talk about fire, and then see if you can find stories about how they reach fire in the different stages, and see what it's like, and see what they say. I recently read a book called Pathfinders, which was full of stories of the how, why, and what it looks like to reach fire, and with their all different stages, starting from being in debt to getting out of debt, to saving $5 a week to $100, and to at the end being able to live on your investments. So I will leave the link in the description below, and I highly recommend checking out the book. I learned a lot emotionally and the perspective component of it, and I really enjoyed it. So after recording this video, I quickly realized that we need a part 2. I didn't want the video to be more than 25 minutes. But thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me rant about pretty much what I've learned over the past 2.5 years. If you like the content, please give the video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. In my next video, I want to quickly go over what are retirement accounts, the differences, and how I set mine up. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a weather nerd who likes math, financial facts, and the stats. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.